Sister Dorothy, who was Elizabeth Seton?
Elizabeth Seton was a very unusual woman, and we consider her a woman for all times. She was born to a wealthy family in New York. Her father was a surgeon, but she always had a care for the poor. And in time, when she was able, she created a means of taking care of the poor. She created hospitals, child care institutions, the whole Catholic school system in the Archdiocese of New York. And initially, she was married and she had 5 children, and then her husband died. She converted from being an Episcopalian to a Catholic, and then she felt called to create a group of women who would continue to do this work of caring for the poor, and eventually founded the Sisters of Charity. So from those beginnings, it was very easy to draw women to herself because they were women who had a care for the poor. And I think today many people can identify with that when we see the poverty around the world. So she continued to look around and find the unmet needs and to ask the sisters to go out and take care of those needs. And so they did. They started schools, orphanages, hospitals, as if it were an everyday occurrence to do those things. And many of those places exist today. So we have a ministry to the homeless in New York City. We have a ministry to new immigrants. We have new needs, but the same legacy, the same way of caring for the poor, and now an understanding of caring for the earth as well. We have an organic farm. But the one we are so proud of is the one right here, caring for children who cannot advocate for themselves at all. And so through the generosity of all kinds of people, these children are given an opportunity to survive, to thrive, and to have quality of life that they never would have had. So that's the legacy. We see it in what every sister is doing.
Well, you have to go back to the New York founding in order to find out why this hospital was built. The founding was established in the 19th century to deal with the issue of abandoned babies. And so it developed over the years into the current century to provide care for children and families.
So that was the origins, caring for abandoned babies?
Originally at the founding. So what happened then was, at the founding, a new phenomenon started to arise, and that was the medical needs of children that they were seeing. For example, in I can't give you the exact date, but there became a period when there were many women who were drug addicted and pregnant at the same time, and gave birth to babies who were addicted. And there is really no facility to care for these children because they needed a lot of help. So the founding started to do it, but then realized the need to establish a new organization, and that's the hospital that we're talking now, that would be able to provide the nursing care, the rehabilitative care, and the medical care that these children need, not only to survive, but also to flourish.
And was it the case that because of the charism of Elizabeth Seton and the Catholic charism, that they saw the value in these people, even if they were born to homeless people on the street, even if they were drug addicts from the moment of birth, that they still had that intrinsic value?
Well, I think the basic charism of the Sisters of Charity is love. And that from the beginnings of the church, going back to the gospel times even, love has been a predominant motivating force. And I think that it's that care, that compassionate care, when a need is seen in a society and no one is taking care of it, then who steps up to try to respond to that need? And I think the Sisters of Charity have done that over the last 2 centuries, yes.
What do you think Elizabeth Seton would think of this center if she could see it today?
She would love it.
That's what I was thinking when you were talking, Dorothy, was how proud she would be that this exists. It is such a replica of her own family, her own 5 children, her own struggling in difficult times she was widowed, to maintain these children and to provide education for them. So I think she is here, by the way, in spirit. She's here, tiptoeing around sometimes, other times singing or dancing with some of the children in their activities. But I know that she's very happy with the work that's done here. It is her legacy. This is her legacy.
This place is so important. And now with an outreach to young adults, it's all the more exciting to know that these children, these young adults, will not have to go to nursing homes with elderly residents.
They will have a center of their own.
Yes.
So that each child reaches his or her full potential. And that is, I know Elizabeth is cheering that one on.